Welcome back to the NASA Report. Today we are talking about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order on the PlayStation 4. Very excited to talk about this one with you. It was a lot of fun to play. Now, before we get into the review, I just want to remind everyone of how we're doing the score breakdown here. Graphics, performance, entertainment, each out of 10 points for a final score out of 30. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about the graphics. Here you go. You're introduced to this very early on in the game. Right here is a look at the first introduction, I guess you could say, to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. This game, you're playing Cal Kestis. He is this young Jedi in training, and over the course of the game, he's being hunted by various people from the Empire, and it's very interesting. It's just sort of like an apprenticeship journey. This game is how I would describe it. You get to, through some flashbacks to younger, to when Cal was younger and seeing his, I guess, training during then and then now. It's interesting just to kind of see that parallel. And as you guys can see here again, the animations are excellent. I think the details are cool. And I know that voice acting doesn't really go with the graphics, but I thought Cal Kestis was voiced very nicely by whomever that may be. It was rock solid, the performance. Visually speaking, this game, it's pleasing to the eye. And besides that, the voice, the sounds, everything is good. Sometimes you might play a game where it looks good, but the sounds and all that are just really off. But this game, it does both the visuals and the sounds very good. This is some of the, I guess, jumping, you could call it, that you do early on in the game. Right here, you're going from one part of the map to another. And again, I know this is just the early map and early part of the game, but still, you get a taste of what this game's going to offer you later on in terms of visuals. As you guys can see right here, Cal Kestis gets to this top, and you see the planes flying by. He's in this shipbreaking yard on Braca, and later on in the game, I will show you guys later on, you go to various other planets, and again, I think it's safe to say each part of the planet, he does some type of Jedi training, and the environments in those worlds look just as good as Braca does right here. So for the graphics, I'm giving this a 9.5 out of 10. Whether it was early on in the game or later on when you're in some really intense battles with some of the bad people in the game, everything looks good. And I was very pleased with how that turned out. I think if we're talking about one of the more, visually pleasing games of, late 2019, early 2020, I think that Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order has definitely got to be in the conversation. It's that good. So let's dive in and talk about the performance of the game. I was very pleased with how the game ran. It was smooth most of the time. There were these occasional points where I would stumble upon someone or, jump from point A to point B, or just randomly the game would just start running a little bit staticky. The animations would be a little choppy, to say the least, and it would be weird. It's like the game would start lagging behind a little bit. That was a little bit of a distraction, but the game never crashed for me, which was a positive for sure. But it's definitely distracting when you're playing or jumping, because this game, as you can see, requires lots of jumping and puzzles as well. Later on in the game, you kind of have to move things in a certain order to complete an objective. And when you're trying to do that and you're dealing with this, I guess, obstacle in your way with the choppiness of a game, it can be a little bit distracting. I think that might have to do with, the graphics and everything looks so good that it can lag behind in other areas, that might be inopportune or just a huge inconvenience. That would be my main complaint in regards to that. I'm not going to degrade it too much for that, because it wasn't a persistent issue. It would just happen every now and then where I'd be on a planet and it would kind of lag, and then I would just hit the pause button or start over. Luckily, you can save and quit relatively easily in this game. You just have to reach meditation points, which I'll show you guys in a little bit. But that was the one part with regards to the performance that I was a little underwhelmed by. Those points where the game would start, lagging off and glitching a little bit. So the performance for Jedi Fallen Order, I'm going to give an 8 out of 10. That occasional lag was just really distracting and annoying. It didn't happen that often, but when it did, it always seemed to be at a very inopportune time or at a point in the game that was very important. So I just didn't like the timing of it, and sometimes it would lag on for a little too long for my liking, so 8 out of 10. Now let's talk about the final component of the game that I want to discuss, and that is entertainment value. I think even after you finish this story mode, you will find yourself really busy. I think that's probably about 15 to 20 hours alone right there, and even after then, the planets will have a lot of things you want to explore, from collectibles to other things you might have missed in your initial playthrough. We're now on the ship. That is Seer talking to Cal, and she's a very important character in the game. I don't want to give too much of it away in case you do play this game, but she is important, and again, I was really happy with all the voice acting in the game, especially her and Cal. Excellent. And here we will go to this the map hologram. As you can see, the main planets in the game are Dathomir, Bogano, and then we have Ilum, Kashyyyk, and Zepho. Those are the 5 main planets in the game. There is one other that you go to for the story, but it's only available in the initial playthrough. This is a really cool feature you have. Even after the game, you can go back in case you missed a spot. Maybe you haven't explored everything on that planet, and you have that option to do so. And I think that was a really smart touch. Sometimes there's people that want to get the cool stuff done in the story. We're going to travel to Bogano, by the way, to just show you what it's like to travel from planet to planet. And while we do that, I will explore the ship, because again, this is where you'll spend some of the important parts of your game. A little eating area there. You don't really do anything there, just there for the design. And this is a meditation spot. These meditation spots are very important. They're scattered throughout the map. That's where you save your game. This is also where you customize your skills on the skill tree. Now they range from using stuff with your lightsaber to the Force and the survival. It just depends what you want to do. Now you earn these skill points by taking out enemies, destroying them, killing them, whatever it may be, and by just progressing in the game. And depending on how you want to, strengthen your character, whether that's, in one of these 3 categories, you can kind of pick one and run with it, or if you want to scatter your points out, you're allowed to do that as well. I like that feature. I think it's really cool. Some of the moves you learn on the skill tree are really awesome, and I used them all over the course of the game, especially some of the Force moves where you can just push someone over a ledge. It's a pretty awesome feeling to do that. Makes me feel like Darth Vader in a way. So, I was living out a, fantasy I had, and being able to do that in the game is really cool. Now we will go and take a look at the lightsaber customization options. As I will show you, there are tons of different ways that you can do this, ranging from if you want to change the color, the emitter, switch, sleeve, or the material. There's no shortage of options there. And the way you unlock these is by stumbling upon various different treasure chests on the planets. I think that adds another fun element to this game. Looking for collectibles in a way. You're looking for these different skins or colors that you want to use to customize your lightsaber. Maybe I'm silly, but I thought that was cool. Because maybe you're just not a fan of the default lightsaber you have. Maybe you want to create something to make it truly one of a kind and your own. And you're able to do that in this game, which was really awesome. And you can see here the lighting is really cool, looks nice. And trust me, it works nicely too. So now we're getting ready to land on another planet. I just want to show you briefly what that looks like. You have to go up to the cockpit and assume your seat in the, co-pilot chair, if we can call it that. I think this is really cool. It makes you feel like, you're you're leading the charge in the Star Wars world, and I thought that was really awesome. And you can see here, this is another part where you can see the visuals. I mean, look at this. This is awesome. It looks like real almost. Here on Bogano, and yeah, the worlds are spectacular, well thought out, well executed. It's a complete deal, and again, the entertainment's fun. Being able to go back to these planets, explore them more thoroughly than you might have been able to do on your initial playthrough. I think that's an important thing to have in a game, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order does a great job of that. Now, the last component I want to show you guys real quickly is some of the combat and fighting footage, because I think that's one of the best parts of this game. These fighting animations are awesome, and I think visually speaking it looks phenomenal too. Just the way the lightsaber looks in this animation is cool. Being able to reflect is also a really cool feature of the lightsaber too. You can see there I did a little force push to push him against that wall, this bad guy, and yeah, he has no chance. But the animation, fighting animations look really good. I mean, this is fun to do even after you beat the game, going back to certain portions of the map you've already, destroyed bad guys in, just going back and taking them out once again. It's fun. There's just something amusing and fun about that. Even this ugly spider, it's just fun to destroy him and get him out of the way. And you can see here, I'm going to reflect this shot, I think, and take him out. No, I'm just going to go for it. So, yeah, these fighting sequences are also, a big part of that entertainment value. Not only is the game all about, navigating your way through these maps, but it's also dealing, with some great battles throughout these beautiful environments, and they're executed very nicely. So for the entertainment, I think it warrants a 9 out of 10. All the planets will have lots for you to explore, even after the completion of the main story mode, and I think that's cool, whether you're looking for some cool new collectibles or wanting to smash up some bad guys. Again, it's still fun. So with all the review now complete, the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order breakdown is as follows. The graphics, 9.5 out of 10. The performance, an 8 out of 10. And the entertainment, a 9, for a final score of 26.5 out of 30. I think Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is a complete package. It looks good, it plays good except for an occasional glitch, and it will keep you entertained and engrossed till the very end, and is a must-buy, especially for fans of the Star Wars franchise. Alright everyone, thank you so much for tuning in and watching this review. It was a lot of fun playing through this and experiencing the Star Wars world through Cal Kestis, and the experience was great and rewarding in a lot of different ways. Next time out, I am going into the baseball world for a game review. That's all I'm going to say. Don't want to spoil too much for you. Gotta keep you guys waiting. And until then, see you guys later.